Hepatitis B. Hepatitis B causes inflammation of the liver. It is caused by hepatitis B virus, which is transmitted through blood and body fluids. Matilda was exposed to hepatitis B during unprotected sex. She was experiencing unusual fatigue and a loss of appetite. She went to the doctor, who confirmed she was positive for hepatitis B with a blood test.
When the virus enters the body, its initial response is to infect a liver cell. To do this, the virus has to attach to the liver cell's membrane, which is represented in step 1, and then the core particles of the virus enter the cell, which is represented in step 2. The core particles then release its content of DNA and DNA polymerase, which is represented in step 3. DNA and DNA polymerase then travel into the liver cell's nucleus, which is represented in step 4. In the nucleus of the liver cell, hepatitis B DNA, which is represented by the red squares, causes the liver cell to produce proteins and enzymes such as surface proteins, HBs, DNA polymerase, and the HBE protein. DNA polymerase, which is represented by the purple stars, causes the liver cell to make copies of hepatitis B DNA. These copies of the virus are released from the liver cell's membrane into the bloodstream, and from there they can infect other liver cells, and therefore replicating effectively.
Risk factors: sexual contact with infected person, working in the healthcare field, injecting drugs with contaminated needles, unsterile acupuncture or tattoo needles, and sharing toothbrushes, razors, or manicure tools. Acute hepatitis remains in the body for 6 weeks to 6 months. Chronic hepatitis is when the virus is present for over 6 months and the person becomes a permanent carrier. Symptoms include jaundice, light-colored stools, fever, fatigue, nausea, vomiting, and loss of appetite. Normal physiology.
The normal and healthy liver is the largest organ in the body and consists of 2 lobes. A few healthy functions of the liver is clearing the end product of hemoglobin, controlling the production and removal of cholesterol, clearing blood of waste products and drugs, making clotting factors that stop excessive bleeding, storing vitamins and sugars to give the body energy. Vitamins are represented by the purple triangles and sugars are represented by the pink triangles.
And lastly, endocrine cells release the hormone cholecystokinin, also known as CCK, to stimulate contractions in the smooth muscle of the gallbladder, which releases bile to digest food, absorb nutrients, and break down fats for easier digestion. Effects on normal physiology.
Fibrosis, the liver repairing itself by forming little scars which can lead to cirrhosis. Cirrhosis, permanent scars in the liver, which stops blood from flowing through the liver freely, which then causes the liver to shrink and become hard, which can lead to liver failure. Liver failure. The liver is unable to remove waste, toxins, and drugs from the blood, and it can't produce clotting factors necessary to stop bleeding. Liver cancer. When there is a damage to the liver cell, it causes the genes to become altered and cancerous. Lastly, bilirubin is affected. Bilirubin is the end product of hemoglobin, which is usually cleared in the liver. When a person has hepatitis B, it accumulates in the blood, causing jaundice.
Antigen HBeAg signifies active viral replication. After HBeAg disappears, anti-HBe appears. This signals resolution of the illness. There is no actual cure for hepatitis B. The treatments aim to alter progression and suppress virus replication. Drugs that could be used in treatment include interferon and antiviral drugs, and a liver transplant can be done as a last resort. Key concepts.
Homeostasis is affected by fibrosis and cirrhosis because normally the liver can repair and rid itself from scarring, but in hepatitis B, if the person becomes chronic, the scarring continues and leads to cirrhosis. Normally bilirubin, the end product of hemoglobin, is cleared by the liver, but when a person has hepatitis B, their liver cannot clear it and bilirubin builds up in the blood, causing jaundice. Proteins. Proteins responsible for maintaining normal blood clotting are made in the liver. In a body affected by hepatitis B, The blood's ability to clot is compromised, suggesting the liver is not creating enough clotting factors.
The cell membrane is affected because the virus has to pass through the cell membrane to the nucleus of the cell where viral replication occurs.
Matilda's immune system fought the virus off on its own and produced anti-HBe. Her own antibodies and interferon were hard at work. She had a full recovery in 4 months.